I'm wearing different glasses right now because I sat on mine. I'd like to see something cool happen. Like I saved someone from a burning building and they flew off and they broke. But let's be real, I sat on mine. And you might be wondering, like, how does one sit on their own glasses? But need I remind you that I cannot see without them, like, at all. Like, nothing. So I just got out of the shower and I sat down, and they're clear, which is a bad choice now. Now, of course, I realize that it's a bad choice. I wish I realized that earlier on. I did not. So I sat on them. And then I realized I was sitting on them. And then I got up and I put them on. And it was like... And I was like, I think something's off. This doesn't seem right. Let's talk about what this video is about, which is motivation, not a glasses ad. I know you're surprised. Lens crafters, please sponsor me, because God knows I've been there a lot, and I'll be there again to fix the ones I sat on. What made me want to make this video about motivation is two things. One, somebody commented on my last YouTube video that they wanted to see more content like I used to post, which is kind of like advice content about relationships, mental health, therapy, all sorts of things like that. And I really like that because I used to love those videos as well. And then I just kind of thought that maybe people didn't want to see them, and so I stopped making them. And I'm disappointed that I ever even thought that, because who cares? If I want to make it, then I can make it for me, not for anyone else. So thank you to the person that suggested that, and hopefully you enjoy this video. And the second thing that inspired me to make it is I was listening to one of my favorite podcasts called Big Conversations with Haley Hoffman-Smith. It is a fantastic podcast for manifesting, living your best life, being who you want to be, advice. It's really inspiring, and she's very funny, very kind. So go give it a listen if you want to. And she had a guest on there that was very motivational and very inspiring. And she said a quote that I could not get out of my head. Like, I have thought about this several times, which to me is always a sign that I need to say something about it or do something about it. When you can't stop thinking about something, you know, you have to move it out of your system. And it's just like when you see something and you don't buy it, but you love it, and then you keep thinking about it. You're like, damn it, I should have bought it. So I don't want to be like, damn it, I should have said it. So that is what is inspiring me, is this thing that she said. And what she said is that you have to be okay with committing the crime of outshining people. And I was like, what? Like, what? What does that mean? What? I want to know what that means. And I want to be a criminal in that. Send me to jail. I want to do it. That is the only crime that I was like, you know what? I'm down for. Did not mean like jumping in front of a photo when somebody else is trying to take a photo, or trying to outshine a bride on her wedding day by wearing the same dress or a sexier white version. Like, don't do it. Don't do that shit. She means that if you're doing a lot and people are telling you like, oh my God, why are you doing so much? Or wow, now you're making me look bad. Comments like that. Like, be okay with being like, this is me. This is who I am. This is what I do. I'm sorry if it makes you feel inadequate or some sort of way, but be okay with committing that crime of just being who you are and doing the level that you do. And wow, did that hit me like a little tiny truck. But it hit me a lot. I really felt that to my core, as influencers say, to my core, felt this on my heart. But I really did. It really connected with me. I don't know if you guys have ever had that moment. Please leave a comment and tell me what that moment was for you. If you had a moment where you heard something that you were like, this is going to change who I am and the way I do things, and this is me. And when I heard that, all of the times, especially recently, that people have said to me like, wow, you're doing so much, you're making me look bad, or why are you doing that, or making a comment on the way that I do things, or the content that I put out, or the amount of content that I put out, all came to mind. And I was like, you know what? She's right. I need to stop hiding my light, or not making videos, or not doing my podcast, or feeling like I have to do less or be less, like be less light, feeling like I have to dull myself and make myself, you know, shine a little less bright turn down my settings basically because someone else feels inadequate or feels like I shouldn't be, or it makes them feel some sort of way with me just being myself. I've felt that a lot recently and in my life. And when she said that, I just was like, whoa, hold up. I literally was hiking and I had my little like ear pods on. I don't know what they're called when they're not AirPods, because you don't want to spend that much on AirPods, but they're close to it. Earpods, I don't know. I had them in my ears and I like stopped on the mountain I was on and I was like, whoa, this is me. And I'm okay with, I want to be okay with committing this crime. I want to be okay with quote unquote outshining when it's not meaning to outshine anyone or hurt anyone. It's just being yourself. And I want that to fall in line with me being motivated and inspiring others, because I feel like a lot of the times when I don't do things, it's not that I have a lack of motivation, because I'm a super motivated person. I think I just spit everywhere. I'm so sorry to those in the car or watching this. That happens when you're very excited. I'm not excited. But I'm a really, really motivated person. And I mean, I wake up, I know it's so annoying to, you know, anyone I have a sleepover with, but I wake up like pretty early, like 7 a.m. now at this point, because I also live with a toddler who also wakes up very early, and I'm ready to go. I'm excited. I can go do things for the most part. Every day I'm like, let's go do something after a few minutes, of course, of waking up. Then I'm ready to go. And I have that natural motivation, that drive to like be the best person I am and do some good shit while we're here on this day, on this earth. Like that is just my natural tendency for the most part. And I feel like that is really gotten pushed down by others, that is not their natural tendency. And my motivation has kind of slipped and been affected by the whole world, you know, besides this terrible pandemic that we're in, you know, the sad news and the negative news and the president and everything, the old president and everything going on, you know, has really, really affected me. And I'm not going to let it anymore. I don't want it to anymore. It's not just a New Year's resolution. It's like, no, this is not happening anymore. It's a stop sign, a hard stop on letting that stuff affect me and letting that change my motivation. I know what motivates me. I'm going to talk about it. Everyone needs to find that thing that motivates them specifically, and that's how you change, and that's how you become your best self and fulfill those goals you want to fulfill. And I found out what motivates me, so I'm going to do it. You know what motivates me is my future self. Like, oh boy, I do not want to meet her when she is pissed at me that I did not get that podcast episode done, or I did not get this YouTube video done when I had the time and I could have woken up earlier, or I could have worked harder, or I could have gone to bed earlier, or I could have not watched Bridgerton, or whatever it was to get that shit done. Future me is what motivates me, because I do not like a disappointed future me. And everyone has different things that motivate them. You know, sometimes it's a reward, like getting to do something if you do something that you don't want to do, or getting to not do something, like losing something if you don't do what you're supposed to do. Whatever it is, you need to find it. And I found it by looking back at myself later on and being like, damn it, why didn't I do more? Why didn't I do that thing I wanted to? And then being like, oh, because I was embarrassed, or because I was, you know, embarrassed to put myself out there and see what other people thought, or embarrassed by the views or the likes or the lack thereof or whatever. And then I was like, who the cares? It's something that I care about. It's content that I want to put out. If that makes me feel good and helps somebody somewhere. So who cares about all that other stuff? Of course, we live in a society that's based on all that, so it's hard to maintain that attitude forever. But that's what motivates me, is future me. So if that's what's going to motivate you, I would definitely try to listen to them, because they can be harsh, but they get that shit done. Find what motivates you. Find what makes you happy. Find what makes you feel so good after you do it. You know, like every time I record a podcast episode, after I'm done editing it, I do it in my car a lot of the time. I get out of my car and I feel so good and so happy that I'm putting this content out there and helping people in some way. And you know, I have a really good time with it. It's like I'm hanging out with me, and I'm really funny and fun to hang out with and helpful and give good advice. And I'm so happy every time I do it, and I need to hold on to that feeling. So whatever makes you feel that way, happy, and like you have your purpose and like you're here for that reason, you need to do that. No matter what anybody says, no matter what they say. Like, you know, it's said so many times, like, be yourself and don't worry about other people and don't worry about what they think. But just because someone said it a bunch of times doesn't mean it actually gets through to you. Sometimes you need the right person to say it at the right time. So if that's me, don't worry about what other people think. Worry about what you think and what you want to do and what future you want from you. And will future you be disappointed or happy with the choices that they're seeing now? If you could have worked harder or done more, just do it. Just do what makes you happy and what makes you feel good, because that's what matters, and that's what will motivate you to do even more when you're being your absolute best self, no matter how hard it takes, no matter how hard it is, no matter how much work it takes. That's what motivates you, is the result of how good it feels.